Hi everyone, this is Subbareddy. Today we are here to discuss about how we can add SharePoint online site or a page in Microsoft Teams as a tab. So for example, here I added one app as a LMS. The app name is LMS. And I gave the home page of the particular site collection as a tab here. So you can add multiple tabs also here. You can add like up to 16 tabs you can add. Uh, but how to add that SharePoint online pages or sites as a tabs? So I will go through those manifest settings app creation. How to do that? I will explain in this video. So let me just uninstall this particular tab so that I will start doing from scratch. So before starting, I created one SharePoint online sites, which is for communications. For example, sites/communications. So this is my communications SharePoint online sites. So here I'm planning to use, or here I'm planning to add this particular site as a tab in Microsoft Teams. So here I click on more added apps. I installed already App Studio. So if it is not installed for you, you can search for it and install App Studio and open it. So in App Studio, click on Manifest Editor and click on Create a new app. So this is the Microsoft Teams app which we are trying to create. So here, for example, in the app names, we need to give short name and full name. Based on the name what we gave here, it will display the app name when it is displaying in the left pan or wherever it is displaying, right? So it will use these names. So for example, communication site, right? So I would say let me HR communications. Or let me take any example as a short name here. And for example, here I'm trying to give the same full name here and the same name, SharePoint online site. Okay, and the app ID for each app which need to be created in Teams, right? There should be some unique ID. So for that purpose, we can generate ID by clicking on it, and we can use the same thing. And later we need to give the package name. We need to give this in format format which we can follow, but it's not mandatory to give in the same format. com.microsoft.suba maybe. Yeah, otherwise SPO package. And here I'm just need to maintain the app version. When you upload this particular app into admin center, or if you want to upgrade in future, you can change this version so that you will get to know what version of the app is installed for the user. This app is for demo purpose. I'm giving description, full description also. I'm just giving the same details. And the developer names, I'm just giving my name. You can give your company name here. And the website URL, your company website URL, you can give it here. And partner information, MPN ID, we don't need here in this case. So we can leave empty. It's an optional field. And then we need to give the privacy statement and terms of use. If you have particular privacy statement or terms of use URLs, you can use that. Otherwise, you can give your organization URL here. But there is no mandatory to give /privacy/terms of use, but it should be it should be in URL format. And in the branding section, you can maintain or you can use the default icons, or if you have some guidelines for the branding or an organization rules, right? So you can update these icons for your application. You can uh, update it if you have those icons with these dimensions. You can upload the icons here so that the respective icons will be used for this application. and you can leave remaining fields empty. And then go to capability section tabs. Here it based on your requirement. If it is a team tab, you can add as a team tab, but here I'm trying to add as a personal tab. So let me click on personal tab here. I need to give the name for the tab. Whatever the name we give here, once the app is displayed, it will display the tab name here, right? So the name will be reflected coming from here, tab title. So for example, communications. This is the tab name I'm trying to give. I can give the same entity ID and content URL, website URL, which we need to give. The URL is actually the site URL, this one, but to make it work in Teams, right, the URL format changes. So I just noted to note, I just copied to Notepad. This is the content URL format which you need to give. The site URL / layout / 15 Teams login dot .aspx question mark SPFX equal to true and destination, and this is the URL what you need to give to display as a home page or to display as a tab here. So this is my URL, content URL, right? Site URL. I just gave the main domain msteamsuper.sharepoint.com, not the complete site URL. And then layouts. This is the same thing which I kept, and destination. This part I just gave this one. This is the actual URL where I need to keep as a tab. So let me just copy this value and content URL I'm keeping here. But for website URL, right, you can just maintain only the particular value. You don't need to give the same content in the website URL. So I just copied only the main page URL here and I click on save. So this is the main tab to add, and then here we are not going go for bots, connectors, messaging extensions because we are just trying to add SharePoint online site as a tab. So I just jump into domains and permissions. So based on the URL you entered, right, the msteamsuper.sharepoint.com is a valid domain we need to add. So based on the URL you entered, the valid domains will be added automatically. And then we also need to give some AD app ID. Here we need to give AD app ID. The reason for this AD app ID is because whenever you browse for that particular SharePoint site within Teams, it should not ask for login again. If it asks for login, then you will not able to see that particular SharePoint page in your Teams because redirecting to login will not work in Teams tab because it's iframe. It will work as an iframe. It will block the content if it is redirected to login page. So the particular SharePoint site should take the single sign-on. So for that purpose, you need to add AAD app ID here. AD app ID means you need to create one AD app registration in Azure AD portal, and you need to give this particular app ID here. But for SharePoint site, you actually don't need to create that. There will be one hidden by default AD app ID, and that app ID is same for all organizations. It's you don't need to create it for SharePoint sites in your tenant in your Azure AD. There is a one AD app ID by default, which you can use for single sign-on. So I will just copy that AD app ID into this particular value. So maybe for that purpose, right, you can search for internet for that particular ID, or let me just copy it from my other I already created one app ID, right? So I just copy from the value here. So just coming to domains and permissions and area app ID, just copy this value. This is the area appreciation which you need to use for all SharePoint sites, and it will work single sign-on because of this. And single sign-on, for this single sign-on to make work right, you also need to add again this particular URL until SharePoint.com. You need to add this value, the resource URL. So both of these values will be helpful for single sign-on. So whatever the values you enter on all these interface, right, you can see in the app manifest preview section. So here, if you see package name, whatever you entered, whatever the ID you generated is in the interface, and developer information, whatever you entered in details, app details section, and these are the icons and the description and static tabs, personal app. We created one content URL and website URL entered, right? So those values will be shown here, and we added as a personal scope only. That's why it is showing only the under the scope section only showing personal. And these are the default one, and valid domains, this is the one which is added automatically, and for single sign-on, whatever the ID we entered and the resource URL, that will be shown here. So you can reuse this particular manifest in case if you want like similar, or if you want to create multiple types, right? So you can just use this manifest instead of creating everything from interface. So here in the test and distribute section, if you want to download it, you can download it here. So if you click on download, right, if you go to your downloads folder, it will have 3 folders: manifest, uh, total 3 manifest, and 2 icons here. So for example, we just open this HR communications, right, you will be able to see all the 3 files: manifest, color.png, and other outline.png files. You will be able to see under this HR communications section. And if you want to just want to install for you, right, you can install by using this option. So let me just try to install it. Add. So whatever the details we entered, those details are displaying here as well. So the HR communications site is added now. So see here, whatever the name we entered for short name, right? So that is displaying here, and the tab name, whatever we gave in the manifest, that will be that is displaying here. And in the this about will be the default tab. You will be able to see your company name and version information, and the full description, that those details you will be able to see, and website URL, privacy, terms of use, URLs, all these details will be shown under about tab. You cannot remove this one. So this is the way, overall way to use SharePoint sites or pages as a tabs, and it works single sign-on. There are no issues here. Okay, that's the overall functionality, but you need to consider some of the cases. For example, if you just click on this one, right, it is, for example, it is like a different third party, or the site which is not related to this particular site collection, then it will open a different tab. It will not open in Teams. And for example, create an event. This is like a event within the particular SharePoint site, right? Then you will be able to see that particular related actions within the SharePoint within the same tab, but based on different settings, or like it's completely based on the URL. If it is that URL is outside of the SharePoint site collection, then you cannot open within the Teams. That will open different tab. Only the contents related to that particular site collections you will be able to use in same Teams. So that's the overall process to add SharePoint site as a tab. Thank you. Thank you for watching this video.